if people aren't saying no to you,
You're not asking for
ask
love.
for more. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I love that. Hey, Fraud Squad. Welcome to Who Let Me Do This. I'm your host, Saidee, and this is the podcast for anyone who's ever looked around and thought, wait, who trusted me with this job, with these kids, and with this life? Here's the deal. I'm not here to hand you the perfect 5-step plan to get your life together. I'm here to share the chaos, the fails, the small wins, and the oh my God, same moments of trying to be a working mom, a decent human, and occasionally a functioning adult. And because we are all out here winging it together, I'll also bring in actual experts to drop some wisdom and share tips that might make our lives easier, just a little. So if you're listening, congrats. You're officially a part of the Fraud Squad. That's our little community of imposters, hot messes, and overachievers who are all just faking it together. So grab your coffee, grab your wine, or let's be real, grab the leftover food from dinner that your kid didn't eat, and let's dive in. Oh, and if you like what you hear, hit subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share it with a friend who could, I don't know, use a laugh, or maybe just a little solidarity. The more of us in the Fraud Squad, the better. Guys, I am so excited to introduce our guest today on the Who Let Me Do This podcast. She is the founder of the powerhouse brand Fit Foodie Finds, a little corner of the internet that celebrates food, balance, positive self-image, honest convos, and just being a freaking weirdo. She's built an empire over the past 15 years with her multiple brands, her blog, her healthy-ish recipes, her new food truck, Hodgepodge, and even recently got her Instagram story reposted by the one and only Chrissy Teigen. Not only is she an incredible boss lady, but she leads a team full of other incredible women that live and breathe the transparent, raw, and unfiltered Fit Foodie brand. She's a mom to her fur baby Jazzy and to a sweet human baby boy, Gus. I could not be more excited to sit down with the one, the only, Lee Funky from Fit Foodie Finds. Welcome to the Fraud Squad.
thanks for having me for the intro.
So happy you're here. Okay, so obviously I gave you a little bit of a precursor of like what we're going to talk about, but you have created this quite literally an empire with Fit Foodie Finds that has been live for 15 years, which is wild. You created it when we were babies.
Yep.
Basically. So the first thing I want to get into is just the origin of Fit Foodie Finds. How did you start the brand? Like, bring me to the beginning.
The very beginning of Fit Foodie Finds was actually called College Foodie Finds. So Saidee and I went to the University of Minnesota together, and we had mutual friends. I was a junior at the U and read other healthy living blogs on the internet, followed some OGs. You've got Kath Eats and Carrots and Cake and PB
And this
Kickers.
is like what year? 2010?
2010.
Okay.
Yep. And so I was like, I'm interested in these things. I'm in college. Like, there's not a lot of other people that are interested in like going for runs on a Saturday morning in college. And so my sister was like, why don't you just start a blog? And so I did. And it was College Foodie Finds for the first, I think, like 2 years. I used it as a final project in one of my J school classes, which was really cool. And then eventually graduated college and was like, well, I'm not in college anymore. Like, what if this still is a thing? So I changed it to Fit Foodie Finds.
Oh my gosh, I did not realize that.
Yep.
Okay, wait. So let's like take it back a step. So in J school, journalism school, do you remember what the assignment was that like led to this?
It was like a media class. So like social media was barely a thing when we were in college.
Yeah.
Like, Facebook was a thing. People were on Twitter. And so I think we were supposed to like create something in media, something.
And you just like could do whatever. Okay, but wait. So then you created College Foodie Finds. Were you building recipes?
So at the beginning, I was sharing healthy recipes, but I was also sharing like day in the life kind of thing. I also had an eating disorder at the time, and you could definitely see that through like what I was posting. Like, nobody should be eating just a 5th cup of oats. It was kind of like a diary, but also like figuring out like, oh, people are starting to like digest content on the internet and not just like magazines, newspapers, stuff like that. So that's kind of how like the content ball started rolling, was like, oh, this is like getting traction. Like, people are interested in specific recipes or specific workouts.
Okay. At what point did you like start sharing? Were you sharing with your family first or like friends first? Or like, was it the assignment that turned into like, instead of me just creating these recipes and like using a different ingredient that's more natural or more healthy or less calories, to then being like, other people want to know this? Is it because you saw it out there?
I think I had anxiety and depression in college. So I was like treating myself with antidepressants and therapy and all that stuff. And I am just the type of person, like, I don't care what other people think of me. And so I just like threw it out there and I was just like, this is what I'm doing. So if you want to judge me, go for it.
Yeah.
But like, this is what I'm doing.
Okay. I love that. Okay. So then you graduate college.
Yep.
And you're like, wait, this might actually be something. Did you graduate with a journalism degree?
No, I created my own major.
Okay.
In CLA. So it was design, Spanish, and public health. I got a lot of no's in my day. Like, didn't get into design school.
Okay.
Had to pivot. Kind of had to figure out, like, I want to graduate in 4 years.
Yep.
And that's kind of how
that happened. Okay. So then what happened when you graduated? Did you try and work corporate? Walk us through what that like path from you graduate college, you have this like cute little blog.
So I graduate college and I work for Anytime Fitness headquarters on their social team. Pinterest is just becoming a thing. I just got Instagram. Like all of these things are like just the ball is starting to roll. So I work for Anytime Fitness, and what's interesting about them is they have a blog. It's sort of where like I learned about what is content. Content is sort of like packaged up information that people digest. And before, when you're just sort of doing like day in the life, it's sort of repetitive, but search is becoming a thing on the internet. Like, so searching for peanut butter ball recipe or like searching for certain things. So I'm learning a lot at Anytime Fitness about content creation. And I mean, social is social. We're all learning at the same time with that. But I got this amazing boss. Her name is Stacy. And the first thing she said to me was, you are not going to be here long. And like 3 months later, I quit. No, not going to be here long because
no, I know.
I'm
saying like, oh, I love obviously women supporting women, but I also love a boss that's not gatekeeping to be like, I know you're really good, but I'm going to hold you. Obviously you want talented people to stay at the company that you work for, because it makes you look good, it makes the company look good, all those things, but also the ability to see in someone what maybe they don't see in themselves or they have that imposter syndrome for, and to say like, you just got to do it, or I have the confidence, or I'm not going to be mad at you about that. Because I also think that situation could have been really awkward for you as a early 20-something-year-old girl, being like, I think I can make it, and then burn this bridge. I'm going to piss someone off. Like, I'm going to ruin my corporate future if Fit Foodie doesn't work out. So I think that's really cool.
And Stacy helped me kind of segue into contractor life and figuring out like, okay, I'm going to get like 16 jobs until I can figure out how to monetize Fit Foodie. And so I pitched to her, like, can I stay on as a contractor for X amount of hours? I was driving 40 minutes one way. Okay. And I was like, I want to work from home, which wasn't a thing in 2013, 2012 or whatever. And she agreed to pay me for X amount of hours to get me off my feet and to just like give me time to figure it out. And so they were one of my first clients. My skill set, I'm kind of a jack of all trades. So I can do social, I can do design, I can do photography, I can do recipe development. And that's where I was finding my clients is brands would come to me with a product and say like, hey, do you want to share this protein powder or whatever? Yeah. And I would pitch back to them, I can develop recipes and photograph them for you so you can have content on your site. So my first jobs after my corporate job was just a bunch of reoccurring clients for content creation, basically. Yeah. And I quickly realized if I'm going to project my income, I need to sign long-term contracts with these people. I don't want to do one-offs. We need to have a relationship. So that's kind of where I started falling in love with the business side of things too.
Okay, but how did you learn the business side of things? Trial and error?
I just figured it out. I was like, if I'm going to be my own boss, here's what I'm making now. Yeah. So I need to be able to match that and or better.
How long did you do like the hustle, like true hustle culture? You had all these different jobs. You're an entrepreneur and you wanted to take it somewhere, but you had to pay the bills.
Yep.
Like how long were you doing that before you were able to go full in Fit Foodie?
It's a good question. I need a timeline. Probably 4 years, 3 or 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
I brought Lindley on quickly and was paying her to like help me with everything. So Lynn's been my right-hand man. It's been over 10 years, I think. And then Emily came on. I'm picturing my 5-year anniversary and they were both there. So they've both been with me for over 10 years. And thankfully since then the industry has like people are just throwing cash into this industry. So it's like working out for us.
I think that your story is really interesting because I think it is you've got like two things going for you. One, you've been incredibly business savvy and actually grinded, and you're very brilliant when it comes to business, and that's something that's always inspired me about you. But then you also got in at a really good time. You would have been successful even if you didn't get in at the beginning. But you actually like were a big trailblazer when it came to like social media and how to grow it, and like you've really evolved because social media has evolved. I mean, think about that. In 2012, we graduated. It's evolved so much, and like to pivot from like people are reading blogs, but not in the same way that they're consuming blogs. And then it's Instagram, and then we went to TikTok, and then it's like
never ending.
And I know we talk about the SEO search optimization. Yeah. The pain that is.
I think the pain for me more is the evolution of the internet, because if you don't pivot, you don't survive.
Being an entrepreneur and a business owner, I feel like it's got to feel really tough to be like, but wait, why would I go away from what's working? I've made a lot of money with what's working. I've grown the business with what's working, but like it's those people whose businesses die, right? It's the ones that can pivot, but that's really scary.
Yeah.
Well, you're so good at
it. Yeah. I'm also medicated, so.
I mean, same. In the 15 years of Fit Foodie, what are 1 to 2 moments that just like stand out to you of like, I can't believe this happened?
Yeah. I don't remember the exact moment, but I think being a 7-figure business is something that I'm really proud of. And like people have no idea what this industry, what's behind these Instagram accounts or what goes into it. It's not, I'm not just a one-man show. So it's like I have a full team, and I've always been transparent about that. Whereas a lot of other accounts, they make it look like they're a one-man show. And so that's the first one, is just being a 7-figure business, and then how I treat my team. Yeah. So Lindley and Emily were on a bonus structure where the better the business does, the better we all do. They see every dollar that comes in. They see every dollar that is spent. And I think a lot of other people in my position, they just hire assistants or they hire the cheapest that they can. And for me, I've always wanted to hire for longevity because I don't want to do this by myself.
Yeah.
It's
1,000%. And I think this is actually a really good time to talk about too, like the team that you've built. So you brought on Lindley really early. And I think really unique thing about your relationship with Lindley is she is your best friend prior to Fit Foodie. And then you brought on Emily, who's Lindley's sister-in-law and another good friend. And watching your Fit Foodie crew kind of ebb and flow, right? Because it's gotten bigger. But do you want to talk a little bit about how you've thought about building your team or taking that risk to taking personal relationships into business?
Yeah, I think that's people are always so interested in that. And I think for me, it's just the friendships and the people are what mean the most to me. I am just very, I don't know if you'd call me black and white, but humor, I love realness. I love talking about my feelings, and like I have a tight-knit group.
Yeah.
And so that's like who I want to surround myself with. And the fact that Lindley and Emily were all kind of jack of all trades.
Yeah.
While being like good at slightly different things. And it just worked for us. Emily was a big PR gal that we took from an agency. Lindley's skill set is wildly creative.
Keeps growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And running a business like this, you just learn every day. You're learning something new. And they were willing to take the risk. I was willing to take the risk, and there's been lots of bumps and pivots in the industry that are challenging. Growth challenges, hiring people, figuring out how to be bosses. But I think at the end of the day, the transparency is kind of what makes it all work.
Yeah.
Because I'm never going to like do a deal, hide it from them, and like keep it for myself.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. 1,000%. Let's transition into like motherhood, right? So we have our one human baby, Gussie.
Yep.
Just turned 3.
Yep, just turned 3.
Talk to me a little bit about your decision to become a mom. Was that an easy decision for you? Was it a hard decision? Did the business play into when you would have a kid at all? Lay it out.
Well, I married not my high school sweetheart. We went to the same high school, didn't start dating till after college, but we were really good friends in high school. And so the relationship moved kind of fast. He was in Milwaukee. I was here. He ended up moving here since 2019. But we were both kind of always on the fence. Like, should we have kids? Should we not? Yeah. We loved the 3 of us with just him, me, and our dog, Jazzy. But when it came down to deciding like when to have the kid, I think both of us were just like, our parents are here right now. We are financially stable. So I was 32 when I had Gus. We got married at 28. People on the internet are having kids at 22. I felt so financially stable with a savings account. We both have jobs. And it felt like an okay time to not, I mean, it's never the right time. No, it's never the right time. But when we made that decision, we were like, okay, let's do this. And then it was like, damn,
cool.
We're pregnant. So we got pregnant really easily. I had a traumatic pregnancy with perinatal depression, was hospitalized in a psych ward. That was fucked up. Like,
no, it was horrible and it was very scary. And
yes, it was. I like could not control my thoughts. I remember our husbands were on a bachelor party together, and when I got admitted, they called Mark and they were like, "You need to fly home." Like he had just touched down, had a beer, got on the next flight out, and flew home.
Okay, but that's what he should do.
Yeah.
In that situation. We should also note for the audience that we were pregnant together.
Yep.
So Gus and baby Bo are
3 months apart.
Yeah, August and October.
Yep.
Yeah. So super close together. So we got to go through that as well together. But I just remember, I mean, pregnancy is hard. I have like such bad sickness when I'm pregnant. And I in postpartum, which I talk about in a different episode. But I remember you going through all of that. And I remember that being something that before you even had kids was a concern. Yeah. Right? Like you're like, you're so open about your mental health and medication that you've used to maintain healthy mental health. And that is a question when you have a baby. Yeah. And it's really scary. And then your hormones are just so fucked up the whole time that even something that works at month 1 might not work at month 6.
Yep. So we got through pregnancy. That was great. And then started the postpartum.
Yeah.
A lot of issues there too. You know, you think you're going to come out of this with just flying colors. Nope. I had a damaged urethra.
Oh, yeah.
Giant titties that I had to cut off. So just like problems. I was an overproducer for those that like.
If you're looking for boob content, definitely check out Fit Foodie Finds.
Yep. That's.
We have both always been apart. I talk a lot in the podcast about my rocks and socks, my very loose boobs that have breastfed so many children and how I have zero control over them anymore. But we were both a part of the big titty committee until you had your breast reduction. Yep. And now I'm so jealous. And there might be a day that I go there.
Something I never thought I would get and was so judgmental about, you know, the internet. You look at the internet and everybody's got cute face, low waist with the big behind. And I'm like trying really hard in the gym and stuff. But it's like the boob thing was they never went down. So I got like almost 4 pounds cut off and
just wild.
Yeah.
It's so wild. And also I think when we were growing up, people who got plastic surgery, there was such a bad rep for plastic surgery. It was people who were trying to achieve being young forever. You were trying to be this Barbie doll, where I feel like my perspective on plastic surgery has changed so much as I've gotten older. Like, actually, I don't really care what people do with their body. Yeah. Like, if that's to make you feel better, whether it is something with your nose or it is your boobs bigger or smaller, whatever, it really doesn't affect me.
No. Yeah, that's where I'm at too.
Yeah. Gone are the days where I feel like people need to justify it. I think people still feel the need to justify it, which is sad. Because your fucking body.
Yeah. And like, I love my gals now. I loved them before, but
But I want to make sure we talk about your decision to get the reduction.
Yep.
You have a health, food, fitness, healthy lifestyle blog, and you got plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And so very high level, that could be confusing, right? Like you're someone who's all about body positivity and body acceptance and self-image, and you are very open about the fact that you had an eating disorder at one point and have worked to continue to maintain a positive body self-image, as all of us women are working on that every single day. But then you chose to get a breast reduction. So can you talk a little bit about, was that something you had always thought about? Because you've always had big boobs and then they just got, well, you didn't, I guess, when you were so thin.
Yeah, so I didn't get big boobs till after the eating disorder. So till like once I turned probably like 25, it came. So, but since then, since like going, you know, working out, trying to find sports bras, and the sports bras could never fit, I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like they weren't even that big back then and sports bras didn't fit me. Then pregnancy, breastfeeding. Yeah. So like when all of that happened, I was like, yes, 100% I'm getting a reduction. We had to decide if we wanted any more kids because typically you can't breastfeed and then what if they grow back?
Yeah.
So then we decided no more kids. I'm getting them cut off. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks.
Yeah.
Because I have neck pain, back pain. I can't sleep. I couldn't get adjusted from my chiropractor face down because they would absorb the shock of being adjusted. Problems.
Did were you able to go through insurance because of how big they were compared to your body?
So every insurance is different, but I have health partners, and I guess they're like the easiest to get it approved, and it's on the discretion of the surgeon. So I met with a surgeon, and she basically vouched for me and said, I think she's a good candidate.
Yeah.
Just based on body composition and proportions.
Okay. And the recovery like wasn't that bad.
No, the recovery was crazy. Since they don't go into muscle, they're literally just cutting off fat. It's way easier than like an augmentation or like inserting something, or if you have to get a mastectomy and then expanders. So it was really like, I would say like a 2-week recovery. And then.
Did you have drains and stuff?
No. So that was also a game time decision.
Okay.
My surgeon was amazing. She was all about like movement is, medicine and recovery. And so lots of other surgeons are about like, you cannot do anything for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And for her, it's like, you have to like train your body. Like if you don't lift your arms over your head, your muscles will forget. Like
to do that.
Yep. So I just like loved her philosophy, and recovery went well, minus one little setback, which I have a boob hole. Check it out. You could probably Google it at this point.
Yeah, it's on the Instagram.
But she's closed right now.
Okay.
She's closed. So I would
not
do it again.
infected. She's just open. She's
I would
just
do it
here
again.
for the party.
Yep.
Okay, we got to get back. Talk to me a little bit about, you had Gussie and you're owning a business.
Yep.
So obviously you don't have like a maternity leave, but you kind of do.
Maternity leave. Yep. So we have 3-month full paid, and I did a really good job. I was nervous that I wasn't going to be able to like take off.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we've gone through 4 other maternity leaves. I am taking off.
Yeah.
I still controlled a lot of the Instagram stuff just because like I just like doing that. I like sharing my life and all that stuff. But
well, and your job's your passion.
Yeah.
In your life.
Yep.
Right. So it's not like you're like clocking in, clocking out. Like you truly love what you do.
But having like the team to fall back on and to just figure it out, they never once reached out with like a question. They just figured it out.
Yeah.
And we didn't go under.
No, we're still here. We're
and
thriving.
We've had two more maternity leaves since then. So.
Yeah. Yes. There's just so many babies in the Fit Foodie.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how has having Gus changed your work-life balance, or how you approach work, or has it?
It has. My work goes in flows right now, and ebbs and flows. Say for like his first 2 years of life, I did a really good job. Once I got home, it was just like
family time.
Yep. I'm struggling with that right now. I get a little obsessive compulsive over making money. So when I figure something out and it's working or it's not working, that's all I can think about. Pros and cons to that.
Yeah, no, totally.
But Gus is now starting to ask questions like, what are you doing? Or
he's starting to
what's
notice.
Your computer? Yeah, Mom. Yeah,
Help me.
He's starting to notice. And and I can, so I'm like, okay, you're right. Like I need to shut this. This is like work stays at work. So.
Right. And I think but that's the thing too about motherhood in general is even something that worked a year ago, the business is going to evolve. So maybe the business needs more of you, but then Gus is going to need more of you. And it's really hard to do, but the ebbs and flows of how to balance, because I get stuck into that, my full-time gig. I just love it. And so if there's something I didn't accomplish during the day, like before my kids get home from daycare, it's on my mind. And so while I'm not at the dinner table on my computer, sometimes I'm on my phone looking up Slacks or emails or something like that, because I enjoy what I do. I want to feel accomplished. I want to be successful, all of that. And it's this balance too, because for me, I really want my kids to know how hard I work. And I want them to see that like I've worked very hard for it, but my job will never be more important than them. And so it's like this balance of you have to work hard so you can play hard. You can spend time at home with your kids, but also Mama's not just like watching Real Housewives all day while you're at daycare.
I do have to say that I do have the greatest significant other ever. He takes before and after. He's incredible. He quit his actuary job basically to let Fit Foodie thrive and to like be the primary caretaker of our kid and our dog and our house and our outside of our house and our cabin and all the things. We would not be here without him. And it's been fun to see. He's started 2 different businesses. Since then, now that Gus is a little older, he's able to do that. But he is he's the family rock and couldn't be here like without his like support and like dedication to our family. So
we love Marky.
Yeah.
Do you guys still have a nanny?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
Okay. So you have Mark is doing before and after, and then during the day he's got his businesses. You're working on Fit Foodie. It's with Gus.
Yep, from like 8:30 to 4.
Okay.
But then Mark lets me leave at like 7:30 so I can work out and get to the studio.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's like a big.
No, it's a huge commitment. And you guys are a really good example of a couple that has very much a shared vision and goals for your life, because Mark had a great job. Like an actuary is a very good job. And so it's not like, oh, you know, Mark wasn't making any money or whatever. He saw the passion in you. I think he saw the vision you had and was willing to say, this is our dream.
It is more of you have to be on like a shared belief system.
Yeah.
And it's not even about the money. It's about, well, it's like you only need so much money. So why do we both need to be working 60 hours a week?
And does this give us the life we want or not?
Right. And so I think for him, he loves math, which he is now getting, you know, running his own business. Before it was straight math all the time and head in computer, working for someone else, you know, making someone else that kind of money. And now it's like, okay, we're making ourselves money and doing our passions. So he gets to do the marketing math side of things and also be home with our kid and allow me to work and, you know, all the things.
Yeah. Ugh, we love a Mark. Okay. So you only have one child. You've made a decision to only have one child.
Yes. Yeah.
And I know we've had this conversation before and I've seen you post about it on Instagram, but people have questions about that.
Yeah, they do. And they have
opinions. They have opinions about it too. Can you talk to us a little bit about how did you come to the decision to only have one child? Was that always the plan?
Yeah.
Etc.
It wasn't always the plan. And I always like envisioned myself having more than one kid, actually, because I just love my siblings and have such great relationships.
You're so close with your siblings.
Yes. But taking like a step back and just like looking at the rest of the world. I know so many people that like don't talk to their sister or like they live in different states and they don't really have a relationship with them. Or I think it's just different that my brother and sister live here. We have very similar interests.
Yeah.
But also like I don't have a huge amount of friends. Like Lindley and Emily and Rosie, like they are my people. Like I consider them like siblings. Like what I tell my siblings, I tell them. So it's like you make your own family.
Totally.
And while like my siblings are part of that. I also have like other people who I consider my family as well. So when taking a look at, are we going to have more kids? I think we were like, we are satisfied with life right now. We feel like this is doable with one kid. Why is it socially like a thing to have more than one?
Totally.
What I went through during pregnancy, like, so we just decided like, screw it. We're just going to have one.
Yeah. I think what's interesting too is similar to you. I'm so close with my siblings. And so in my head, I was like, those are my best friends, are my siblings. But then, like you said, when you look around, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, like I see my siblings at holidays. And I'm like, you don't talk to them every day. Like, that's so strange.
Yeah.
And then people do, like Lucy, one of her best friends is an only child. And we are so close with that family because she doesn't have siblings. So Lucy is probably the closest thing to her sibling at this age.
Yep.
And I think it is very true that if you don't have siblings, you build that relationship elsewhere. And also, if you are an only child, likely your parents are going to put you in situations around other kids.
Right. My sister has 3 kids. We see her 3 days a week. It's like he's part of the crew.
Yeah.
And then just comes home.
And then Lindley has a kid, and then Emily has 2 kids. And there is this weird pressure. I do feel like our generation is starting to break that. Feel like I'm seeing more and more families that have a kid. And it's not the default of we had one and we just couldn't get pregnant with another. It's like, no, we had a child, or we only wanted one child, or we had a child and we realized like we're good. And of course, children are always a blessing, but in a situation in where you could choose, why rock the boat when like the boat is very steady right now?
Yeah.
And it's a very responsible decision.
If another kid comes, I've always said that comes in my life in a different way, like
great. We're going to love them.
Yeah, but I'm getting my tubes out in December. So
are you?
Well, that's the plan tentatively, unless I like freak out. I'm getting them out because it's cancer prevention. And
you have a history of cancer in your family?
No, but my mother-in-law has fallopian tube cancer, which is a form of ovarian. And my midwife is the one who brought it up. I didn't even mention ovarian. And she's like, you could just get your tubes out. It's a laparoscopic, 2 little holes, and 100% prevents children. Prevents ovarian cancer and is 100% covered because it is a
preventative.
What is the word that she used? I called my insurance and sterilization. She said there's a clause in here that says if this is for sterilization, it is 100% covered.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Yep. Well, this was so much fun. Obviously, I knew this was going to be a really fun episode. will you give the audience your top 3 tips, whether it has to do with health, wellness, being yourself, food?
Yep.
Lay it on us.
Okay, top 3. I would say business-wise, just do it. Like there is Google, man. Just Google it because you can figure it out. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. So just do it business-wise. I would say it doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you. Like you think people are thinking about you.
No one cares.
No one cares. You do you. You be you. Like you create the life you want to live and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Yeah.
And number 3, I don't know if I have a number 3. Number 3 would be
eat the fucking cookie.
I know. It was like last night we walked to the gas station because Gus wanted white cookies. My dad gives him vanilla. No, my dad gives him vanilla Oreo cookies. So we walked to the gas station. I saw an 8-pack of Pez.
Yum.
Bought the Pez. So I'm like, eat the cookie.
I know.
Eat
you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Yeah.
It's all about balance. Okay, last question. Can you think of a moment where you felt like a total fraud? Whether starting the business, getting a big deal?
No, I mean, I've always been the type that's just like fake it till you make it. Like I've pitched myself to brands. I've asked for more money than I thought I was worth. If people aren't saying no to you,
you're not asking for
ask for more. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I love that. Okay. Thanks so much. You're the best. Thank you so much. This is really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Where can people find you?
People can find me at fitfoodiefinds.com or Fit Foodie Finds on all social platforms.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, share. Make sure you check out Lee's Instagram page and her blog for amazing recipes. My favorite ginger snap cookies. Good. The chewy ginger snap cookie. I don't even like a ginger snap, but those are just so good. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Woohoo.
Okay, that's it. Thanks for joining this episode of Who Let Me Do This. Go drink some water, set a boundary, and don't forget, you're doing amazing, sweetie, even if you're spiraling. And hey, if this episode made you laugh or feel seen, send it to a friend, hit follow, or leave a review. You know, do all the things. See you next time.